how blessed are we to wake up to this beautiful sky today. And I understand it might rain later, and that's a beautiful sky too. Everything here has its own beauty, and we are no exception. And as I look out at your beautiful faces, it's funny when I think it was Patty said something about that I'm talking about the divine feminine, which is a part of who all of us are, an important part of who all of us are. I thought I heard Stephen going, really? Really. And it's, so let me start out by saying, and it's also the first thing that I said in the piece that I wrote for the newsletter, is the divine feminine and the divine masculine are both genderless. They are a very important part of our ability to become all that we can. And it has when we're talking about things at the cosmic or universal or spiritual level, we're no longer talking about Patty being a woman and Chris being a man. We're talking about the stuff of which all things are made. And in our case, as sentient beings, we have the opportunity to recognize that stuff and the skills that it brings, the abilities that it brings, the invitations that it brings. And Patty mentioned one of the most important in terms of the divine feminine, and that is nurturing. Because so the divine feminine and the divine masculine, what I really want you to know is they are an invitation. They're an invitation to absorb, because we already have these qualities. We just don't necessarily recognize them. We already have these qualities, and so nurturing, creativity, generosity, the ability to hold something until it grows. Those are divine feminine qualities. But they are not, just because someone is male, they are not excluded from having those qualities. The point is that we all have those qualities. We all have those abilities. And if our tendency is to think of something as being strictly a masculine trait or strictly a feminine trait, then we're missing something important. Now, I am going to talk about Mother's Day for about 2 minutes. Because no disrespect intended, but Mother's Day is a Hallmark invention. And I happen to be a big Hallmark fan. So, no disrespect intended, but it is a Hallmark invention. And the President of the United States at the time, who I can't remember who it was, decided that there would be a Mother's Day on this Sunday every year. Just like we have Father's Day in June. That's it. That's all I'm going to say about Mother's Day. Our experience, and Patty handled this so delicately, another divine feminine trait, when she said, just let these words land and see where they fall in you. Exactly. Because not all of us had the Mothers of the Year. Some of us did, but not all of us did. Or maybe they were the Mothers of the Year at some point and then they weren't, or they weren't and then they were. That's not the point of today. Today is about honoring the divine feminine in everyone. And what an invitation that is. Because it is an invitation to be creative. It is an invitation to be nurturing. It is an invitation to be accepting, to be open, to be receptive. Did you know that receptivity is a divine feminine quality? Whoa. There are so many qualities that are associated with the divine feminine in us, in all. Now, there are many people in this room who are creative in lots of different ways. Yes?
Yes.
Did you know that was a feminine quality? And that's cool?
Yes.
Well, Patty, of course you knew. So when we have these thoughts of separation, where that's a masculine quality and this is a feminine quality, we have forgotten that we're all one. And that isn't just a nice statement to make. And that doesn't make us all the same. In fact, we are uniquely unique. I needed that right that moment. What it does do, when we start to separate, whether it's genders or political views or taste in food, or give me one more.
Music.
Music. Oh, taste in music. All that is an individual tendency. It's an individual like or dislike. Art is another good example. Some people are allergic and others aren't. Why? Is what I want to know. Exactly. It isn't about separation, ever. It isn't ever about separation. It is about acknowledging the divine qualities, the spiritual qualities, the ethereal qualities, because some people, I've learned, have an allergy to the word divine. Just like some people have an allergy to the word God. It's okay. God doesn't care. Or the divine doesn't care, or Harry doesn't care. Or Shirley doesn't care. That's funny, actually. Because surely she wouldn't care. Anyway, especially her. So we're chock full of these divine qualities, of these spiritual qualities, of what when you hear a reference, particularly in our philosophy, to a higher self, but you might also hear it at a 12-step meeting. You might also hear it just from a friend over lunch, because that is a more comfortable way of referring to the nameless. What cannot be contained by a name. The higher self is not separate. The higher self is a part of who we are. And an opportunity that we have as individual expressions of that higher self is to reveal it as us. So, this morning, revealed it just now as a beautiful piece of music. He just sat there as his own divine feminine self. He played this extraordinary piece of music that he had written. Do you see what I'm saying? And how important it is. We are so much more alike than we think. We waste a lot of time thinking about how we're different. And if we just invested the same amount of time in thinking about how we are one, one of the many things that I guarantee you is that we would feel calmer, happier, more content, more open, more available to experiencing the world as it is, not in its activity that you read about on the internet or hear about on TV, but as it is as our mother. The Native Americans, as well as many other cultures, believe that the earth was our first mother, was the first mother of all beings. Now, how does that differ from the fact that we all come from one source? It doesn't. And if we all come from one source, but Ruth is from Germany, and Denise is from Burbank, and Jackie is from somewhere really cold and far away, like North Dakota or something. Does where we're from really make a difference?
No. It shouldn't.
Well, Patty says no. Anybody agree with her?
I agree.
No.
Well, 3 other people agreed with you. I just wanted to tell you because you couldn't see. As we delve into the spiritual truth of feminine traits and masculine traits and learn that they are all gifts, they are all talents, they are all capabilities, they are all extensions of our opportunity to express, to create, to reveal. Then we can choose, because we can always choose, which of those traits we want to, that really feel like they're calling us. Which of those traits just feel like they come naturally to us, like they are easy for us, or we would like to explore them further. Maybe it's a trait that we really don't know anything about, but there's something about it that intrigues us. That intrigue, that tap on the shoulder to explore something like writing music, like completely turning your life around by only living it one day at a time and to the fullest. We have these opportunities, and we have these opportunities every single moment of every single day. How often do we just blow them off?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't have time to do that. I am thinking of Peggy at this moment, and we've been talking almost every Sunday, singing her praises about what an awesome job that she's doing on the newsletter. And she grew up in an atmosphere where she was led to believe that she wasn't creative.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that silly?
Yes.
But, this had to happen, and then that had to happen, and then this other little thing had to happen, all of which were connected to the original tap on the shoulder invitation for her to discover just how creative she is. And that it's really her passion to create beauty and inspiration. Had she bought the other sales job that was being done on her about her lack of creative ability, not only lack of it, total lack of it, we wouldn't be enjoying the amazing talents that Peggy shares with us every week.
Mhm.
And I'm willing to guess that every single one of us has had a time in our life where we were being sold a bill of goods about ourselves not being enough something
Mhm.
or lacking something, and or not being able to do something. A good friend of mine who was so determined within herself to follow this path that she really felt called to follow, was told every step of the way that she'd never do it. Every step of the way. And yet she made the whole thing happen. She went to the college of her choice. She had the career of her choice. But she was told every step of the way that she couldn't do it. That is not a foreign experience to us.
Mhm.
Because many of us have had somebody in our life at some point who said, "Oh, are you kidding? You think you're gonna do that?" And I think that too is an invitation. I've been giving this a lot of thought for the last couple of weeks. And I think that too is an invitation because it's another kind of poke. Because if we have any doubt, if we're holding on to any misgivings or kind of what does my friend wobbly self-confidence. Wobbly self-confidence is like not. It doesn't take much. It doesn't take much for us to go, nah. I'm not even going to attempt that. I'm not even going to attempt that because, yeah. We all have those stories. And yet here we are. Here we are exploring the possibility of living a brand new life. Filled with joy. What did you say in the meditation this morning, Linda? Filled with joy and happiness and feeling alive. So maybe we could all decide and then share it with anybody that we have the confidence to share it with, that they aren't going to laugh. Let them. Maybe we could all decide that our divine feminine, our sacred feminine qualities are our superpower.
Mhm.
Yay, yes.
Why not? And wait till you hear what I have to say in June. Because The other thing that is so critical that these sacred qualities add to our life is balance.
Mm.
We are capable of approaching things entirely differently as we cultivate these qualities and we recognize how valuable they are. So this is your homework for this week. Decide that your sacred feminine, your divine feminine is your superpower.
Yes.
And just see what happens. And so it is.
And so it is. It's Patty. Patty's right there.
Yep, it's, now it is time for our conscious giving.
It's time for